Hello there, in this video we are going to talk about something called nesting. The idea of nesting is that you can put a dictionary in a list, or a list in a dictionary, or a dictionary inside a dictionary. So when you put a collection inside another collection, you create something called nesting. And it is not only limited to these three ideas. You could have a list in a list as well, and you could keep on going. So a list in a list in a list, or a dictionary in a dictionary in a dictionary. But the idea is of nesting is this, and I'm gonna give you an introduction of how to achieve this. So let's go back to our editor. Okay, so let's create a file. First of all, touch nesting.py. Let me open my file, nesting.py. Now let's say I have some students. Let me create some students. Let me zoom in a little bit. Student 1, let's say the student 1, her name is Alice. Let's do a capital A. Her name is Alice. Her major is physics, and her GPA is 3.3. And let's copy and paste and create some more students. Let's say student 2 is Bob. His major is math and his GPA is 3.4. And let's do one more. We have Charlie and his major is chemistry. Let's do chemistry, and his GPA is 3.1. Now I have three individual students. Now what I can do, I can create a list of students, and I can put my student 1, student 2, and student 3. Now I can print my students, and you will see what I got, students. Now let's run our code, Python nesting.py, and I got a list of dictionaries. So the first item is Alice, is the dictionary of Alice. The second item is the dictionary of Bob. The third item is the dictionary of Charlie. Now I can do indexing on my list and get the first dictionary. So let me run it, Python nesting.py. Now the first item is a dictionary. Now I can use square brackets and get the name. Python nesting.py. I got Alice. Now you can loop through your list just like you normally do for item, or I can say for student and students, I can print my student and I will see each individual dictionary, Python nesting.py. And if I just want the name, I can do name student and just get the name, and I can print the name. Now each item has become its own dictionary, and I got each name. That's the most basic idea of dictionary in a list. And it is very important to keep consistent keys so you can loop through them. If I mistype name in one of them, for example student 3, I make the name within an uppercase, now my loop is gonna fail, right? On the third student, this key will not work. I can show you. I will get a key error. Now the code is saying on the third student, name is not a key. This name is not a key. And just one more thing I want to show you is that you don't need to create individual variables. You can do all of this work directly in one list. So what do I mean? Well, let's create 3 individual dictionaries and let's separate them by comma and put them inside square brackets and create my students list like this. So this is the exact same thing. Now I have my first student, and then my second, and then my third. Now PyCharm is complaining for me to format it so it looks nicely. So this is it. I have a list of dictionaries. Now let's look at the book and see what the book is teaching. Let me clear all of it. The book actually has an example of aliens. We have three aliens, alien 0, alien 1, alien 2. Both of have both of now all three of have the two key value pairs. The first one is color green, the second one is points 5. Now then we use a list, and put all of those aliens in the list, and then we can loop through them for alien in aliens, and we can print each alien. Now let's go back to our console and run our code, and we got each alien. Very similar to the student example. Now we have a list in a dictionary. This one I haven't showed you yet, so let's type this one out. Let's say we have a pizza dictionary, and we are describing the pizza. The crust is thick, and we have multiple toppings, right? A pizza can have multiple toppings, so we are going to use a list for that. Let's say mushrooms, and extra cheese. Now we can print our complete pizza, or we can just print the toppings. Let me show you. So that's our complete pizza. The crust is thick, and toppings is a list of mushrooms and extra cheese. And I'm printing toppings. Now here you get a list, so you can do indexing after square brackets. You can get just the first topping or the second one. Let's get the second one. Let's run it. We got extra cheese. So the ideas of list will apply. You need to make sure what type of data you are getting. Here we get a list, so you can even append if you want to. You can even append. Let me show you pizza. Now let's do toppings. Now this is a list. I can do append. So let's append pepperoni. And let's see our pizza again. Now first the toppings had only mushroom and extra cheese. Now toppings have mushrooms, extra cheese, and pepperoni. You can see how you can use the list inside a dictionary and make changes to the list, and it will show up in the complete dictionary. That's the idea of a list in a dictionary. And there's one more example. Let me paste it here. Favorite languages. Last time we just had a single favorite language. Jan had Python, for example. Now we are adding languages as a list. Sarah has only one, so we are still creating a list but putting one item. It is very important to stay consistent, so you can use a for loop. So all of these values are a list, then we can use a for loop on them, right? So let me show you. For key comma value and favorite language is dot items. Now you can print the key. Let's say key, which is the name of the person, right? Favorite languages are. Now you can run another loop for language. Let's say for language and value. Now value is a list here. I can print the language. Let's use tab. Why not? Let's use tab and do language. And after we are done with the loop, let's have an empty line. Let me run it and show you. Let me make it a little taller. So Jan's favorite languages are Python, Rust. Sarah's favorite languages are only C and so on and so on. See how useful using dictionaries and lists are. The reason is you can use a for loop. You can apply the same operation on all of them. Now finally, we have an example of using a dictionary inside a dictionary. So let me copy and paste and show you very quickly. Here we have a dictionary of users. You can when you're looking at it for the first time, it might look like a list of dictionaries, but you can always look at the and bracket and see if it is a curly bracket or a square bracket. In this case, it is actually a dictionary of dictionaries. So the first item is A. Einstein, that's the key, and the value is a dictionary. M. Curie is the key, and this is the dictionary. Now let's try to access a few items from them. So let's print users and get our first item, which is A. Einstein. And the second item, we can get the second item, which is M. Curie. Now clear python nesting.py. We got the first item and we got the second item. Now the same operations of dictionaries will apply on both of them. Now this whole thing is a dictionary. This thing is a dictionary of dictionaries, but when you grab this item, this is a dictionary. So what do I mean by that? Well, you can get the first name now. So if you want to get the first name, you do A. Einstein, then the first. And if you want to get the last name of M. Curie, well, you do last. Let's run it and see. So we got Albert from here and Curie from the last. So that's the idea of nesting. When you nest, you can see how much information you can put in a single variable. And that's how we normally work in real life. And it's very important to get used to this because we are going to use it a lot. So this is it for this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.